Hello everyone, I am so excited to discuss a particular article about EFL. But by the way, this is Marceline L. Sukili, a student of Master of Arts in Teaching English. So our discussion will be delved into a research titled A Summary of Teachers' Use of Literature to Develop Language Proficiency in EFL Classrooms. To enlighten our research topic, let's have the background of the two authors. So let's have the first author, Arijanit Ramadani. So for his academic profile, Arijanit Ramadani is an educator and researcher in the fields of language education, particularly focusing on English as a foreign language or EFL with a background in linguistics and pedagogy. Ramadani's research interests include the integration of literature in language teaching, effective pedagogical approaches for EFL learners, the role of cultural context in language education, strategies for enhancing language proficiency through engaging materials. In his work, Ramadani has contributed to the understanding of how literature can be employed as an effective tool for language development. His insights encourage educators to leverage literary text to create more engaging and culturally rich learning experience for students. For professional experiences of Ramadani, he has experience teaching EFL in various contexts, which informs his research. He actively participates in educational conferences and workshops, sharing his findings and methodologies with fellow educators to promote innovative teaching practices. In addition to the research titled Teachers' Use of Literature to Develop Language Proficiency in EFL Classrooms, Ramadani has authored several articles and papers focusing on language education, pedagogical strategies, and the intersection of literature and language learning. This background establishes Arijanit Ramadani as a knowledgeable and committed figure in the realm of EFL education, with a specific focus on enhancing language proficiency through literary engagement. Next up, background for the second author. Arijanit Duraku is an accomplished educator and researcher specializing in English language teaching, particularly in the context of English as a foreign language or EFL. He holds advanced degrees in linguistics and education, providing him with a solid foundation to explore effective language learning methodologies. Duraku's research primarily focused on the use of literature and its role in language acquisition, innovative teaching strategies for EFL classrooms, the impact of cultural elements on language learning, enhancing language proficiency through diverse educational materials. Duraku has made also a significant contributions to the field language education by advocating for the integration of literature in EFL curricula. His work emphasizes the importance of literary text in fostering not only in language skills but also in critical thinking and cultural awareness among learners. With extensive teaching experience in EFL settings, so Duraku has also a professional experience. He developed a practical insights into the challenges and opportunities faced by the language learners. He actively engages in professional development and collaborates with other educators to promote best practices in language teaching. And for his publication, in addition to the research titled Teachers' Use of Literature to Develop Language Proficiency in EFL Classrooms, Arijanit Duraku has published various articles and papers that discuss language education, effective pedagogical techniques, and the integration of literature in language learning contexts. This background illustrates Arijanit Duraku as a dedicated and knowledgeable figure in language education, committed to improving EFL teaching practices through the insightful use of literature. Since we're done knowing the background of the two authors for Teachers' Use of Literature to Develop Language Proficiency in EFL Classroom, so let us know The purpose of the research, entitled The Summary of Teachers' Use of Literature to Develop Language Proficiency in EFL Classrooms. So this study investigates how teachers can effectively use literature as pedagogical tool to enhance language proficiency among students learning English as a foreign language or EFL. It aims to identify the benefits and strategies to associated with the integrating literary text into EFL curricula. And for the overview of the title, Teachers' Use of Literature to Develop Language Proficiency in EFL Classroom by Arijanit Ramadani and Arianit Duraco, the research explores how teachers utilize literary text as a tool to enhance language proficiency among English as a foreign language or EFL learners. It highlights the significance of literature in the language learning process and its potential to engage students in a more meaningful way. And for the literature review for this study, in recent years, there has been a growing interest in the role of literature in language education. Literature not only provides authentic language input but also fosters critical thinking and cultural awareness, and this study highlights several key theories that support this approach, including the input hypothesis and the cultural context. The input hypothesis suggests that exposure to comprehensible input is essential for language acquisition, and for the cultural context, it emphasizes an understanding the cultural nuances embedded within literature, which enriches language learning. So for methodology, to gather the data for this research, Ramadani and Duraco adopted a mixed method approach. So these are the surveys, classroom observations, and interviews. So for the surveys, they distributed surveys to EFL teachers to gather insights on their experiences and strategies in using literature. And for the classroom observations, they conducted observations in various EFL classrooms to see firsthand how literature was integrated into lessons. And for the interviews, they held in-depth interviews with selected teachers to explore their perspectives on the effectiveness of literature in developing language proficiency. And for the key findings of this research, it has engagement and motivation, cultural awareness, critical thinking skills, vocabulary, and grammar. Engagement and motivation, the study indicates that literature can increase student engagement and motivation. So engaging narratives and relatable characters help students connect emotionally, making the learning experience more enjoyable. And for the cultural awareness, literature serves as a bridge to understanding different cultures, which is essentially for language learners. It exposes students to diverse perspectives and contexts, enriching their language acquisition processes. And critical thinking skills, the use of literature encourages critical thinking and analytical skill. Students are prompted to interpret texts, discuss themes, and express their opinions, which contributes to their overall language development. And for the vocabulary and grammar, literary texts offer rich language input, providing students with opportunities to learn new vocabulary and grammatical structures in context rather than in isolation. And for the teaching strategies taken from this research, it has reading aloud, group discussions, and creative assignments. Reading aloud enhances listening skills and pronunciation. Group discussions fosters collaborative learning and communication skills. Creative assignments encourage students to create their own narratives or adaptations, promoting both writing skills and personal expressions. So there are 6 lessons to be taken from this research titled Teachers' Use of Literature to Develop Language Proficiency in EFL Classroom by the two authors, Arianit Duraco and Arijanit Ramadani. So the first lesson is the importance of literature in language learning. So the researchers emphasizes that literature plays a crucial role in developing language proficiency among EFL learners. It provides rich contextualized language input that enhances vocabulary acquisition and grammatical understanding. So here, teachers should recognize literature as a valuable resource that can make language learning more engaging and effective. Second, fostering cultural awareness. Integrating literary texts into the curriculum helps students gain insights into different cultures and perspectives. This cultural exposure not only enriches their language learning experience but also promote empathy and understanding. So educators should select diverse literary works that reflect various cultures to broaden students' worldviews. 3. Encouraging critical thinking. The study highlights that literature encourages critical thinking and analytical skills by engaging with text through discussions, interpretations, and creative assignments. Students learn to express their thoughts and opinion more effectively. So teachers should facilitate discussions that challenge students to think critically about the themes and characters in the literature they study. Fourth, diverse teaching strategies. Duraku and Arijanit suggest various strategies for incorporating literature into EFL classrooms, such as reading aloud, group discussions, and creative projects. So these methods cater to different learning styles and promote active participations. Teachers should be flexible and innovative in their approach, adapting strategies to meet the needs of their students. And 5, building a love for reading. So the research underscores the potential of literature to instill a love for reading among students when literature is presented in an engaging manner. It can motivate students to explore texts beyond the classroom. Educators should create a positive reading environment that encourages students to discover and enjoy literature independently. And last, holistic development. Literature not only aids in language proficiency but also contributes to the holistic development of students by examining values, themes, and moral dilemmas in literary texts. Students develop their emotional intelligence and ethical reasoning. Teachers should leverage literature to foster personal growth alongside language skills. In summary, the research by Duraku and Arellano provides valuable insights into the multifaceted benefits of using literature in EFL classroom. By embracing these lessons, educators can enhance language proficiency while also nurturing critical thinking, cultural awareness, and a lifelong love for reading among their students. So in conclusion, the study concludes that literature is valuable research in EFL education with the potential to significantly improve language proficiency. Teachers are encouraged to integrate literary texts into their curricula to foster a more dynamic and enriching learning environment. This summary encapsulates the key aspects of Ramadani and Duraku research, demonstrating the impactful role of literature in language education. So those are the lessons or the importances taken from a summary of teachers' use of literature to develop language proficiency in EFL classrooms by Ramadani Arijanit and Duraku Arianit. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your time and consideration. Till next time!